Chapter 4 The Prophets, the 14th of December 2021. Do you know what death feels like, or thinking that you are going to die? Asked the voice. I don't. Oh, but you do. How will that help? Tell your readers what it feels like, for not everyone can sense it, let alone share it with others. I was a ridiculous human being, spending my time drinking. I used to buy 4 beers every time my fridge had a spare room to contain them. I tell you, it all starts with a sip. One day I watched a video about signs of dying. Sense it, you say, as if sensing death is such a gift. I do not know what you want to say. I did not sense death back then, but I felt what the video described, weirdly enough. Now, that is a gift. A gift that keeps fueling me with despair, misery, and heartache? You call it a gift, but is it really? You think whoever reads this will agree with it being a gift? They might. In any event, that day, I sensed what I thought was death. I cried so hard. People call it depression nowadays. They called it insanity around Plato's time, and demonic possession in Orthodox terms. Aren't we all going to die? I should not have felt depressed by that fact, but the reason I was depressed is because I felt I was nothing. Well, you wrote about it in a previous chapter. I accomplished nothing of significance in my life. I had no higher goal in mind, and I lived by the rules of society. Work, eat, drink, and obey the rules. Oh yes, I also liked females, I knew. I could not imagine my life without them. One of them still looms over my mind every time me and my wife have an argument. I know I shouldn't think of her because I'm married, but the resulting self-loathing adds to the mix. Now, on that day, I felt powerless. I realized that money will not help. The myth of Anubis, whichever he may be, might not have been true. There will be no passageway into heaven by bribing your way into it. In fact, money will hinder your trip if you can even make it there. The fact that everything we live for is meaningless made me question my fate. Was that a sign for me? Is that why I'm searching for meaning in multiple different facets? Movies, books, stories, myths, ancient studies, and religion. What does meaning even mean other than definition? What does it mean for something to be nothing? Well, at the time you realize that your memories, whether happy or sad, mean nothing. The people you think about, those you speak to, these you care a lot about, and those who mean something to you in your current life are all just rays of light in a vast galaxy of stars. We are a mixture of good and bad beings. A ray turns black, another turns white. In the end, we are mere members of a huge cosmos. What is it to accomplish something? An accomplishment means nothing more than what it means to those around you, although none of it will last forever, as many already know that still. What is it to make a name for yourself in this world? How would that change anything? And from that, I started pondering the meaning of life, the meaning of death, and the meaning of the social conundrum in between. Do you know how to drown? Death feels like drowning. Well then, the only way to float is to die with no possessions to weigh you down. Exactly. Do you remember the lightning allegory you wrote a couple of days ago? Yes. What of it? Did you know that this cigarette you're smoking, although your alma mater tells you not to smoke it in your dormitory, could probably be a conductor for demons? They might be able to use inhaled smoke to enter a human's body. Didn't you know that? It hurts to smoke a cigarette through your nose, right? Demons enter humans through their mouth, but never through their nostrils. And they do not leave your body until angels beat them out of you. An exorcism, they called it. The faithful use their scriptures to jolt demons out of the faithless. They had a choice, they exclaimed, because each seeks their own desires. Demons always pry on yours, amplifying them, and God did say in the Quran in reference to your kind, they live amongst you. Satan and his tribe see you, but you cannot see them. Do your readers believe in the unseen? They asked. Maybe. The paranormal is still being studied in my generation, as far as I know. And have they gotten anywhere yet? They asked. Maybe. I reply. Do they know what hell looks like? They asked. Every culture gives it a distinct name. Dante wrote about it in his Inferno. Why have you not read that book? One of them asked. I do not like Dante's Inferno. I burnt some of the book with a cigarette, I replied. Why? They asked. Because he put a prophet among the residents of his version of hell, and I do not accept that. So I burnt his name and didn't read the book. I even dropped literature humanities, primarily because of that. Good, he said. Now, if your readers do not believe in the unseen, how will they believe in demons? That is a choice, whether they believe in either of those unseen things or not. That does not mean they do not exist. Not believing in the unseen is but an excuse to give birth to atheism. I gasped for breath. God does not need to show any more miracles so that unbelievers would choose to heed his words. Humans symbolize his miracle, but most people believe less than they should, they all said. Yes, you might be able to hear what they say. Thank you, I replied. Do you believe in the unseen? Of course. Angels and demons? Yes. Didn't Dante write that there are demons in hell? Yes, there are, but the wardens of hell are angels, not demons. Angels take many forms. They might be scary to some people, that is true. Dante might have seen them as demons, but they are angels, as you said. Now, angels are heavenly beings, created by God to obey him wholeheartedly. But in hell, they are vicious and violent with the hell dwellers. Angels also walk among people during their lifetime, counting their good deeds and bad deeds, so they can be witnesses upon them on the day of judgment. Although angels live amongst you, you cannot see them. It is possible for a person who recites God's words, however, to be aided and assisted by angels to dismiss demons, even if they were inside a person, right? Angels command them however God wishes. Ouch, that hurts. What is it? My left arm hurt for a second. Oh, it is happening again. I feel like someone is hitting me. Well, you can't see who is there, right? No, I cannot, but I keep feeling pulses. It It feels like someone is whipping me or something. Ouch, stop it. They are doing that to you. It is also called weed overdose. Why do you smoke that stuff anyway? I just like the feeling. I never get too high though. Good luck trying to give it up. It only makes you hallucinate, by the way. Are you saying that I'm hallucinating you? I know I'm not crazy and I know you are real. Without even seeing us? Does anyone need to see God to know He is real? No. Then I don't need to see you to believe you exist, although I so wish I could. Fair enough. Do you know what your prophet felt like when he saw Archangel Gabriel? Allahu Alam. And you claim to know your prophet, you who call yourselves Muslims. What do you even know about your prophet? Very little, unfortunately. Now that might be a problem in thy purgatory, mortal. To Abraham, Ishmael and Isaac were born. To Ishmael, 12 sons were born, one of whom was called Adnan. To Adnan, a son called Ma'd was born. To Ma'd, a son called Nizar was born. To Nizar, a son called Mudar was born. To Mudar, a son called Ilyas was born. To Ilyas, a son called Mudrika. To Mudrika, Khuzaymah. To Khuzaymah, Kinana. To Kinana, a son called An-Nadr. To An-Nadr, a son called Malik. To Malik, a son called Fahr. To Fahr, a son called Ghalib. To Ghalib, a son called Lu'ay. To Lu'ay, a son called Ka'b. To Ka'b, a son called Mirra. To Mirra, a son called Kilab. To Kilab, a son called Qusay. To Qusay, a son called Abd Manaf. To Abd Manaf, a son called Hashim. To Hashim, a son called Abdul Muttalib. To Abdul Muttalib, a son called Abdullah. To Abdullah, a son called Muhammad, who is the final prophet and messenger. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم. Peace and blessings be upon Muhammad and his family, lineage and companions.